Hey everyone, I'm going to try a field fix for an axle joint. I lost the piece that goes in between here and here so this can swivel. So I went through my spare parts and grub screws and all that. That's all you see here, all divided up, and didn't have the spare parts. So I'm at home, but I'm going to try and do a field fix. So if this ever happens to me out in the field again, what I can do to fix it. So just so you know, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to take I don't know if I could show this to you real easily. I'm going to take this piece here that goes inside here from a different axle and put it in here. Doesn't really fit well, it's a little small, but again, this is supposed to be a field fix, not a permanent fix, so a temporary kind of fix. So I'm going to give that a try, and my hope is to take this part, put it through here, connect the end of the CVD so we have one complete unit. I'm going to take a nail, I'm going to cut the nail that goes through so it fits, and instead of using a screw, I'm going to try and hot glue and then just simply duct tape around the outside as extra reinforcement to see if it works as a field fix, and then I'll go and try it on my Apache hopefully tomorrow morning. So here we go. I'm gonna take this and start working on it. Okay, here's the parts. I cut down my nail. Here's that piece from a different car that doesn't really fit this one, but I'm going to see if I can use it to make it work. The end and the actual axle. So we're going to give that a try. Oh, and the hot glue gun, because that's how I plan on holding it in. And then, of course, a little duct tape with lighter to shrink down the duct tape and seal it around that. So let's try and put it together and see what happens. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try and move this a little closer. Let me see if I can get some more light on this. Hold on a second. I don't know if you could see it or not. I'm going to try and zoom in. I was able to get the rubber in the inside. So I have the Plasti-Weld, as some people call it, the hot glue gun, which is more commonly known by here. So that way it's in there. And there's glue in the inside. It's actually holding the pin fairly well in place. Again, the pin here is what I cut with a nail. This appears to be moving freely. There is hot glue inside where the bolt would normally go, and I did the other side since it was open. So I got glue from the two sides, hoping it'll help hold the pin in. and then hopefully that'll all work out well. So let's see if we can now put the tape around it, so that way it'll get a little better. I may need to trim off some of the edges. I cut it a little bigger than I thought, so I don't know, we'll see. Here's the handy dandy snippers that I used to cut the first time. Okay, as you can see, that made it a little better. Not as close as I would like. As you can see, it's still sticking out a little bit. But it's holding in place. I'm going to try and put a thin layer on the back end here of duct tape and then heat it up to shrink around it. Actually, I may even tap this on the outside here with some hot glue just to reinforce it. There's that one. Alright, now I have a battery hot glue gun that I keep with me in my car when I go out, because just in case things happen. Works as great insulation, and you can use hot glue for a lot of things. So I do have them there. At home I'm using, of course, the electric powered one because it does it a little faster, gets a lot hotter, makes it a little more liquidy. Here's the just black duct tape. I'm going to try and put this around the end here. Don't know if it'll hold because I greased these parts, so it may not work well. I might need a longer piece. Let me try a longer piece here. This is a really big piece, but okay, might hold better if I do it like that. So let's try something here. Let me just tear another piece of tape here because it keeps getting covered in oil. I'm just tearing a piece. I'm going to tear a piece. And I'm going to try and keep a little bit of an edge because that's where the bearing goes. Here. And try and keep going around this here. Alright, let's see. Get out an X-Acto knife. See if I can trim some of this excess tape off. X-Acto knife's a little dull. So I made that a little smaller to help hold it. See, it still moves freely. And then, sorry about that, bumped my camera. And then Can't get it too hot because of the hot glue inside. I don't want it to spread around in there, but if I can get the outside here. And I'm just kind of cleaning up the ends a little bit. And once again, let me just, kind of works like shrink glue. When you heat it up and the tape kind of bonds to itself. I try and buy the ones that will let me to do that. So in case I run out of shrink glue, this can double as shrink glue in a pinch. And it gets like a hard piece of rubber. So as you can see, I left a little bit of metal here so it doesn't go all the way to the end. This should be where the bearing touches. Should go through the unit and then back into the Apache for that. I don't know how well this is going to work. But if it can hold me over for a couple days while my parts come in, it will be fantastic. Well, anyway, I'll let you know how it all works. Thanks again. This is a field fix using a part that doesn't really belong to this, but it fits, and just kind of putting it in there. You might be able to do like a small piece of metal or something else too. I may have to try that, but we'll see what happens. Take it easy, guys. Thank you. Alright, I'm going to take the part I just made. I'm going to put it into my Apache. As you can see, I'm still running the field fix I did actually a couple years back. I'm now running probably about, I don't even know, maybe about a year and a half, 2 years back. I did this one day. I was out traveling and I couldn't get to an RC store, so I went to a hardware store. I bought some hoops and I was able to make this part. I'll put the link in the video just so you guys can see it. This is how you put it together. Let me just get this in here first. This is the tricky part. If I can get it in here, and I can usually get in the rest pretty simple. Okay, so there you go. That's now in there. Okay, whoops, not straight. There we go. This is also one of the tips I gave in one of my other videos as well, is I don't use the pins. I use a 50 millimeter, I think it's a 50 millimeter screw and nut and bolt, and I use that in place of pins because I find this much stronger. So I hit the plastic and then I back off a little bit just to make sure this moves freely. Alright. I'll make sure I have that in place all the way. I'm going to put now the axle. Finish putting the axle together here. That goes across, that goes there. And the pin goes across to help hold that in place. And then so I can do the final tightening. Because this is like a buggy, there's actually a grub screw inside the axle that helps hold this pin in place. Okay. So just to take it off, just to show you what I did, I used the tire. Instead of me trying to hold this with my fingers, I used the tire to hold that. And I come in here and I tighten the grub screw in the inside, which tightens the pin to the lug nuts here, if you will. Alright, it's all up and going. It's ready to go. I'll try and do some test runs tomorrow and I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks. Take it easy. Bye-bye.